Colleagues, are you in a position to hear me? I was trying to refresh. First confirm. First confirm.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Yes, please.
We are to use decision tree to advise Kanyera on the best option to take. Then part B, we calculate the amount the consultants are likely to receive. This then explain what is meant. Now, when they say calculate the amount the consultants are likely to receive, colleagues, that is expected value of perfect information. They may not be direct. They may not be direct, but this is expected value of perfect information. Remember, expected value of perfect information, sometimes we compare. A consultant may be having his own price, but in a situation where examiner has not specified the fee, the consultancy fee, then for you, you get consultancy fee by just calculating expected value of perfect information. You see, like last time when we were handling this question one, we were given the pre-forma invoice. The contacted specialist has issued a pre-forma invoice worth shillings 47.5 million. In this situation, you have the amount of money the specialist is charging. But in this one, in this scenario, question 4, you don't have that. And because you don't have that, you will just get expected value of perfect information. Okay, so what are they telling us? Kanyera graduated early 2016 with a Bachelor of Science with education of Chambogo University. He tried to look for teaching jobs in Kampala and failed, sorry. Okay. However, he had a dream of starting a secondary school in his home district of Nakasongola. What is your dream? He presented a business plan to his mother. Is your mother supportive? He presented a business plan to his mother, Kanyira, who welcomed the idea and offered him land. Oh, good. And assured access to what? Loan from the bank of up to a maximum of 500 million. Okay? Kanyera is overambitious about his dream. He has to decide whether to start. Now, are you seeing this? Are you seeing the language? Colleagues, here it's not about reading, it's about the language of the language examiner has used. He has to decide. Remember, you're dealing with a question. This is decision-making question number. You must be having options. Kanyera is overambitious about his dream. He has to decide whether to start with O level or both O level and A levels. Okay, so these are options. O level, to start with O level or to start with both O level and A level. Okay, the projected cash flows from the business plan indicate that if he starts with O level, that is option number 1. Remember what we are doing now. Here you have option. This is like what we are doing here when the concentrate is produced. Now here you start with in a situation where Kanyera started with O level. What happens? You are going to operate in a certain environment, okay? If he starts with O level and students turn up is poor, are you seeing that? The net present value after allowing for construction costs will be shillings 20 million. So you have net present value. Net present value. Its net present value is different from net expected value. Here you have not considered probability. It's just net present value. This is like the net profit. Okay. This is in the situation where a student's turn-up is poor. Remember, you have no control about students. You have no control. So you need to know what percentage, what chance, what is the chance of finding that the student's turn-up is poor? It must be provided somewhere in the question. It must be, oh yeah, like here, look at note number 3. There is a 60% chance of having a good students turn up and 40% chance of poor students turn up. Are you seeing that? So it means that you have states of nature. Students turn up. That is state of nature. You have no control about the turn up of the students. You have no control. They can decide to go to other schools. Okay. Okay. So for you, you will have your states of nature. Of course, the turn up, when the turn up is good, when the turn up is poor, when the turn up is good. This is O level. This is O level. Okay. They are telling us that the net profit, the net present value after allowing cost, after allowing for construction cost will be 20. So that is the profit. So the profit, the outcome here, when the turn up is poor, the outcome is what? 20 million. This is at a 0. This is at a 0. What? 0.4. Let me hope it is 0.44. Yeah, okay. They are telling us that if the student's turn up is good, still with this option of starting with what? O level, you're still handling this option. When the student's turn up is good, Challenger can either maintain. Now, here you look at the language. If student's turn up is good, Challenger can either maintain O level or A level. Adding on A level would have a net present value of shillings 22.5 million, and maintaining O level would have a net present value of this. Now, what does this one mean? You see, when the students are doing, when you're doing an exam, all of us, when we are doing exam, sometimes it's pressure. But you realize that when we are revising, these things are easy. You see the language. Where did you start from? You started from this option. But here, they are bringing in another statement saying that if the student's turn up is good, you have other options. Yes, you started with O level. You don't need to worry. You started with O level. Continue with that. But you have option of working with what? Maintaining your O level, and at the same time adding what? A level. So what does this one mean? What does this one mean? It means that there is another layer here. Here, there is another layer here. There is another option. There is another option. Before you look at state of nature, there is another option. I started with O level, but there is a good turn up. There is a good turn up. So, since there is a good turn up, I have two options here. I have two options. Maintaining O level, maintaining O level, and at the same time adding another layer, that is A level. You see that is 0.6. I'm just trying to summarize, okay? Now, they are telling us that, here. Adding on A level would have a net present value of shillings 22.5 million. And maintaining O level would have a net present value of 2.5. So you have the outcome. Here the outcome. Here the outcome. Here the outcome is that you will have a profit of. Here the outcome is that you have a profit of what? Maintaining, you have a profit of 2.5, maintaining O level, then adding A level, it's 22.5. Okay? What are they telling us next? We are done with first paragraph, and that's all. If he starts with both O level and A level, so this is another alternative, starting with both O level and A level. The students turn up. So it means that now you are done with this option, this one. You're done with this. So I can look at also another, starting with what? Starting with both O level and A level. If you start with O level and A level, of course you expect to operate in an environment. Students, we need to look at students turn up. It can be poor or good. Let's see what they are saying. If we start with both O level and A level, and the students turn up is good, the net present value will be 30 million. Come back here. The students turn up is either poor or good. Poor or good. But they are telling you if the students turn up is good. If the students turn up, you started with both O level and A level, and the students turn up is good. How much will you get? 30 million. That is the outcome. Here, you put 30 million. Let's continue. If the students turn up is poor, the net present value will be 1 million. Okay, I think I mixed up. Here I mixed up. When the students turn up is good, the outcome is 30 million. Okay, basing on our question. When the students turn up is good, the net present value will be 30. When the students turn up is poor, the net present value will be 1 million. Okay. So here you put 1 million. Really, can you fail now to make a decision tree? Because that's all. Can you now fail to make a decision tree? Each decision alternative must start from a box. You started with these alternatives, these ones. They must start from.
But they all have the same probability, right?
Yes, of course. This one, the probabilities cannot change. It must remain as 0.4. The same way we looked at what? We looked at bad and economic. Because here you're looking at the state of nature, which is students turn up. Whether you start with O level or A level, here we are looking at the students turn up, being good or poor. Okay. So for you, you will make, so colleagues, what we are doing is just making sure that my alternatives are starting from a box. Then remember, these are probability. Colleagues, wherever you see a probability, that probability must start from a circle. So here I have to put a circle. Here from O level, you expect turn up, poor, good. Okay, you have probabilities. This one is directly giving you an outcome. But here when the turn up is good, you see that you have an option. You have an option of adding another layer, maintaining O level and also adding A level. These are options, these are decision alternatives that must start from a box. Here we had probabilities here, like what we handled in our question 1, right? This one. You see that here after making the first circle, here we made also another circle. Why? Because you have probabilities. They must start from a circle. Where you have probabilities, your probabilities must start from a circle. But here for this question, here you have alternatives. They are not probabilities. They are not states of nature. These ones must start from a box. I'm starting from a box. Then it gives me a result of what? Of 2.5. Then this one is giving me an outcome of 22.5. Okay, and that's all. Then this side you have poor. You have states of nature. These are probabilities that must start from a circle. This will be your column for net present value in millions. Then you put here, do we need to put joint probability? Do we need to put joint probability, colleagues?
No, it is not needed.
You don't need any joint probability, but maybe for formality, you can just put probability, but that's wasting time. Just here, you can immediately say expected net present value. And also this is in shillings in millions. Okay, so how do you get this? How do you get this? You simply get your probability, 0.4 times 20. Then here you get your probability. What is the probability? 0.6 times 2.5. Then here you get your probability 0.6 times 22.5. Then here you get your probability 0.4 times 1. Then here you get your 0.6 times 30. And you're done. If you want to know the overall performance, then like which option is better, which option is better? Which one should you start with? Remember here we are looking at this. Which one should you start with O level or you should start with O level and A level? Which option is better? So with O level, if you start with O level, basing on what we have done, if you start with O level, you will have an expected monetary value of how much? Expected monetary value. Sum up.
23.
You will have 23. Then if you start with both O level and A level, then your expected monetary
18.4.
value will be this one plus
18.4.
this one. So you advise Kanyera start with what?
O level.
So you're going to say that therefore Kanyera should
Never know.
start at HT. Hmm? Mabel, are you with us?
Yes, I'm with you.
Some of you will be disappointed. Kanyera should start with the O level since it yields a higher, or higher expected payoff or higher expected net present value of shillings 23 million as compared to that of both O level and A level. Of shillings 18.4 million. And that's all. That's all. That's part A. Colleagues, any question? Have you understood? Have you understood how we make a decision tree?
Yes.
So part B of the question, they are telling us calculate the amount of the consultants, are likely. Calculate the amount the consultants are likely to receive. How do we get this? We look for the expected value of perfect information. Part B, we get expected value of perfect information, which is
Well, I
equal to,
recall you saying.
yes, please.
I recall you said part B will look for expected value with perfect information.
No, it's expected value of perfect information. Of, not with, of. If you look at with, you are not going to look at other component. It's good to deal with. Remember, if you're given the consultant the consultant's fee. Then you look for the expected value of perfect information, compare it with the consultant's fee, then advise accordingly. Because if you're given a consultant's fee, either the examiner is saying, advise the company on whether to hire the consultant. So, for you to advise the company on whether to hire the consultant or not, you compare two things. You compare expected value of perfect information with the consultant's fee. Then advise the company to go with the cheaper option. If the expected value of perfect information is lower than the consultant's fee, then they should do the research on their own. They should do the research on their own. If the consultant's fee is lower, then they should hire the consultant or the specialist. But here we are not given the consultant's fee. And if we are not given the consultant's fee, simply get the expected value of perfect information, whereby we get expected value with perfect information. Then subtract the highest or maximum expected monetary value. Already we have our maximum expected monetary value. It's how much? The highest. 23 and 18.4. The highest is 23. Then you get expected value with perfect information. How do we get this? Okay, when we are getting expected value with perfect information, we look at our states of nature. For each state of nature, choose the highest. This is your decision tree. What are your states of nature? What are your states of nature? It's students turn up. Students turn up being poor and what? Good. These are your states of nature. So for each state of nature, here you have poor. For each state of nature, choose the highest. Now you're going to look at here, you have poor, it's 8, then also down, you have poor, 0.4. 8, 0, and 8 and 0.4, which one is the highest? It's 8. So you choose 8. Remember, these are in millions. Okay. Then, when the student turn up is good, when the student turn up is good, what is the highest? Here you have good, 1.5. You have 13.5. Then you have 18. So it means that 18 is the one that is higher. So if
18.
you add, yes, please. So this is 20. The total is 26. The total is 26. This is your expected monetary expected value with perfect information. So since you have expected value with perfect information, you can get your expected value of perfect information, which is equal to, from your formula, you get expected value with perfect information, 26 minus 0.3. Here it will be 26 million minus 23 million. And your answer is 3 million. You're done with the question. So you're going to say that the consultants are likely to receive shillings 3 million. And that is your part B. This is your part B.